Hi, I'm Dr. Gokshar. I just wanted to thank you for watching and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Our purpose is to educate and inspire and hopefully help our patients heal from their injury. So many patients, when they hear that they're part of a clinical trial, they automatically think that it's investigational or it's a situation where they're being treated as specimen or it's experimental. And we want to make sure that the appropriate information is out there about our clinical trials. First of all, these are clinical trials in artificial disc technology of the cervical spine and the neck. And most of these implants are vetted by us, having been implanted already at 5,000 to 10,000 levels outside of the United States. These implants are trying to get FDA approval.
The FDA, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, provides a lot of red tape to get things approved. There's a lot of barriers to entry, and that's good in some ways, and it's a little bit of a hindrance in others. I mean, we have the benefit of, as Dr. Gokshar mentioned, of seeing how some of these discs are working and being implemented in other countries. And it's very common that FDA trials in the United States are indeed testing devices and technologies that are already really quite vetted. The FDA is designed to protect patients, protect people, protect the scientific process, and for that it's excellent. There's a lot of politics and bureaucratic issues around the FDA that create a little bit of impediment to novel technologies, and it's unfortunate that our patients, we've had patients actually go elsewhere, and I don't mean another practice, I mean another country. There are patients that will go to France or Germany or Spain or Australia because they have access to different devices that have been tested for years. And I hate to see that happen because we really believe that we can offer the best in the United States, and frankly, we should be able to. And I think that has to be tempered with experimentation. We don't want to be experimenting, but we want to be pushing the frontiers. And the thing about the FDA trials, it allows us to push the frontiers in the United States within reason, within the relative amount of constraint, appropriate constraint. And we both believe it offers our patients and the practice another element, because a lot of these discs and artificial disc technologies do offer something a little bit different than the current FDA approved devices on the market today. Some of them are very similar, and those nuances are really worth discussing. And I know for a fact, both Dr. Gokshar and I will have that discussion. If it's something you feel like you're interested in, one, we have to make sure you're qualified and safe, but two, we have to really pick the right artificial disc for you. And we've talked about that. Targeted artificial disc therapy, personalized artificial disc therapy. What does that mean? I mean, we've put artificial discs, different discs in different levels in the same patient, depending on the kinematics and the biomechanics of your spine. So similarly, with FDA trials, there are certain discs and certain devices that make more sense for your anatomy.
You're not being experimented upon. You will have more interaction with us through the data collection process in the 24 months that the trial is set on to gather very specific data, including additional x-rays, additional phone calls, additional appointments, and you're being enrolled in a trial because the anatomical characteristics of your x-rays, including dynamic x-rays and CAT scans and MRIs, show that your neck is most appropriate for one of the artificial discs that we are using as part of these trials. And that's where the most important artistic part of our job comes in, because the science is still lacking as to what exact implant is perfect for which disc at which time for what type of patient. There are some of our patients that are extremely flexible. Some patients have connective tissue disorders. Some patients have extremely stiff arthritis or other forms. They're extremely muscular that makes their disc move a lot less. So finding the appropriate implant in those scenarios is where I think the most important and artistic part of our job comes in. And it's not just a clinical hunch. It's based on studying the kinematics, drawing the angles, and discussing among ourselves which implant to what level of constraint, to what level of make, to what level of MRI compatibility is important for this particular patient.
A lot of people ask, well, are we pushing patients towards trials? We're really not incentivized. What the trial and FDA trial does, at least from our perspective, for our practice, is it's an adjunct. It gives us more options for you, the patient. And there are legalities around that. I think patients are incentivized a little bit because they're given gift cards and stuff, but it's nominal. The real incentive here is always engaging in academic research to push the frontiers, to make everyone better, make everyone safer, and just have more options for patients. That's really, really important. The FDA trial in our practice is just an adjunct. And there's one other thing. People always ask about the finances, and it's important to bring up. I really believe the one thing that's special, that's nice, that is important about FDA trials is there is financial support. So a lot of patients, unfortunately in the United States, the insurance industry is an abysmal bureaucratic nightmare. And a lot of patients don't have access to some of these novel technologies, even the FDA approved technologies, because of insurance limitations and restrictions. And FDA trials are designed in many ways to provide that support. If for whatever reason your insurance does not reimburse or will not reimburse you for a technology or a surgery that we feel is clinically appropriate, a lot of these trials offer those reimbursements and stipends so you can still get the appropriate surgery.